Hello, happy Tuesday, folks. Hope you're having a great day. And I'm super excited to talk to this guest about hiring and team and leadership and a whole lot of things that most people try and avoid. But I think you're really going to enjoy hearing this from this guest, her perspective. Obviously, that's what she helps with her VIP day in. But before we dive into that, I want to let you know that we do these Tuesday interviews every Tuesday. And so if you're on Facebook, make sure that you follow us so that you can get notified on when our next video is, and which is again Tuesdays at noon Central, I think, 1 Eastern, whatever time it is. And then YouTube, same thing. So subscribe and hit the little bell so that you get notified, and you will be able to see all of the future VIP day variety showcases that we have. So without further ado, I'm going to bring up the lovely JamieLynn, who is all things hiring, team leadership, and again, a lot of what people try and, again, I don't even want to say avoid, but I think that what comes with hiring and team and leadership can be scary, which is understandable. But JamieLynn is going to save us all. So if you want to introduce yourself and your business to the good people of the internet so they can get to know you.
Yeah, hi Jordan. Thanks so much for having me. I'm super excited. So again, I'm JamieLynn and I'm a strategic hiring consultant. I've worked in the online coaching industry behind the scenes for the past 7 years. I started as a virtual assistant, then I started working as an online business manager, and now I work with online business owners who are ready to either make their first hire or they want to have an exceptional experience with hiring this time around because maybe they didn't last time.
Understandable. Definitely. I don't think you can go through, I don't think anyone, and maybe JamieLynn has met somebody, but I don't think you can go through like a perfect hiring experience every time.
I don't think I've ever met anyone that does that either.
Okay, great. So now that we all have thrown out perfectionism when it comes to this stuff, we have a very similar experience in how we started. We both started. I was 8 years, I think, ago. Now at this point in the online coaching industry and whatnot. But so talk to us about how you were serving clients in the online coaching industry during those 7 years, maybe how it evolved, and then obviously we'll get to where you pivoted to VIP days. So talk to us about who you served, how you served them, kind of what your offerings looked like, your life looked like.
Yeah, so when I started, my background before I worked online, I was a corporate paralegal and I was highly overworked and severely underpaid. And I was like, I'm going to go work online. And so I took the hourly rate that I was making in corporate. I added a couple dollars because that was like a big raise. And I launched my virtual assistant offers. And what I found very quickly is that I was still overworked and underpaid. It was a lot more of the same. I was doing all of the doing when it came to working with my clients, and I was serving. Over the years, I started working with 6 and 7 figure business coaches, and so I did not right off the bat, but I grew into that as my expertise grew. And those kinds of companies are very busy. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of demand on your nights and weekends. At a certain point, I started to get a little nostalgic for corporate. Was like,
Wow.
I
Yeah,
miss having a little bit of personal time.
true that.
Um, and so I thought, well, maybe I'll be an online business manager instead of a VA. I feel like I have these leadership skills from different parts of my life that could serve me well here. And so I raised my rates and started doing that. And that's really when I started to get hands-on with the hiring experience. I had to create a system that I had to create it fast because of how fast paced it was managing an entire business and being in charge of the hiring process. And it worked really well. It was I think it started as 5 bullet points in a Word document. But it worked really well. And I was like, well, there's something here. And when I look at all of these clients I'm serving, none of them have a hiring process. This could
Mm,
be more fully developed and be something really great. And so that's where that all started to happen. The pivot for me, I think I was visiting Colorado. I have a friend who lives there, and I was complaining about being a, 9 to 10 service provider. And she
for real.
was like, she was like, "Have you ever considered VIP days as a model, as a business model?" And I was like, "Tell
Mhm.
me more about this." And
Right.
so I started doing research, and that's how I found you, Jordan, and eventually,
So
that I became a done in a day student. So
yeah, oh, that's so fun. And when it comes to hiring a team, that is a pretty I don't know if this is the right word, but like intimate process, because you are essentially creating the team culture and creating, the people who are behind all of the work going into this business. And so I want to acknowledge that obviously your clients trusted you immensely to have you be in that position. And was that something that you initially were nervous about, or you felt like really strong in like your skills and your leadership when they first like gave you that opportunity?
the very first time somebody asked me to do hiring, I think I had like a mini panic attack. It was just like, what? I don't know how to do that. Which
Sure.
makes, which I recognize in my clients now. When it comes
Seriously.
time to make your first hire, you probably have that same feeling where it's like, I don't know how. And I've been there.
Exactly.
I was thrown into it for
Yeah.
sure by my clients the first time. Was honored to have that trust, and I'm so glad that it happened because I enjoy the process so much.
Well, that's
So
awesome. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, it was meant to be. I always find that that your clients can show you aspects of yourself that you didn't know that you had. And similarly, my client, or really my employee, or at the time in the online coaching industry when I first got in, she was the one who highlighted the fact that I was really good at systems, because she just was looking at me like, "Do you have a system for everything?" And I'm like, "I mean, yeah." Like, doesn't everyone? And she's like, "No." So, then she was able to give me opportunities to flex that muscle. And not to say that I wouldn't have ever seen it myself, but I'm grateful for the clients reflecting that to me. So I wondered how you had that experience as well, just of like, okay, all of a sudden, like you're seeing this in me, and yeah, maybe I am really good at it. So that's really awesome. And so when you first heard about VIP days, was there any, again, also like fear, pushback, like not thinking you could do it? Or was it something that you wanted to kind of like take by the horns and were like, I'm going to figure out a way because it sounds exactly like what I want to do?
Yeah, I think when I first heard about them, when they were described to me, I was like, "That's really interesting." And so I went out and I was like trying to find information about VIP days. I thought about some of my clients that had offered VIP days. I like started searching all of our stuff in the back end, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Where are your VIP day resources? Like, where is the stuff? Like, what goes on? What happens in these things? I need to know." And I really couldn't find anything. I was like,
Yeah.
and I am like you. I have a system for everything. I have a system for
Yeah.
like how I wash my dishes. The flat stuff has to
Yes.
get washed first, and then the
Yeah.
silverware is always last. I have a system for how I get dressed every morning.
Yep.
And I was like, I can't do a VIP day without a system. I have.
Totally.
Whew. I couldn't find anything. And so I was on Pinterest, like using that as my search engine. And I came across
Yeah.
a podcast you had done. I can't remember which show it was. And
Yeah.
you were talking about VIP days. I clicked, I ended up getting your boot camp and was like, yep,
All right.
she's a systems person. This is what I need. I'm good. Let's do it. Let's do this thing. So
Yeah, I love it. Awesome, awesome. So when you came into the program, did you know what your VIP day was going to be, or did you need a little bit of molding and idea creation?
I was pretty sure that I wanted to take this 5 bullet point Google document and really make it into something really robust, and create all these resources that could go with it, and create all the phases of the day. So I really did. I was fortunate that I had a pretty clear idea of what I wanted this day to go like. And of course, along the way, I was like, maybe this would be a great idea for a VIP day. Maybe I'll do this one. And of course, all the coaches are like, one, Jamie, one,
Right.
one VIP day. So, and I'm glad that this is the only VIP day that I offer. And I'm so glad that it's the only one. Yeah, so I really was able to just flesh out this process, and it is so good. When I did your system works so well that when I delivered my first VIP day, we were under by 7 minutes of my
Nice.
expected time. I was like, wow, this whoa, that was amazing. It was like magic. So,
Yeah. Oh, that is super awesome. I actually was just I was looking through some testimonials and I came across yours about your dancing that you were doing in your living room and whatnot, and you were like didn't want to come and like jinx like the fact like you were waiting for them to pay, and so you like got the payment and then you came into the group and like told us because
yeah.
again like it I get we actually have multiple people who have said that. They're like, I came in once I knew the payment was in because I didn't want to jinx it
Yeah.
and whatnot. So it made me laugh. It made me go down
Yeah.
memory lane a little bit.
Dance
But
party. Oh yeah. Oh, but I waited.
yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
sure did.
And I love that you were 7 minutes under. I would say majority of people go over because they usually uh, lovingly don't listen when we say like do less.
Mhm.
And so
Mhm.
it kind of takes that first one to be like, oh, okay, like I
It's
did
too
too much.
much. Yeah.
So I love that you had a nice little 7 minute bonus minutes for yourself for that day and
I
whatnot. So
I actually over time have shortened it. I think it started as a seven
great,
hour day and now it's 4.5 because I was like, oh,
nice,
this whole section could just be in there and I'll
nice,
just point to it and be like, this is always going to be here for you. Go read it later. Next.
right,
So I like
nice.
the stuff is still in there, but I slashed it out of the day itself and ended up being able to take like what 2.5 hours, 3 hours off,
That is
which is great.
awesome. What we love to see.
Yes.
Getting time back. I'm all about it.
Yeah.
So talk to us about your VIP day. So how do you have it structured? Are you on the call? Are you not on the call? And what's your framework? How do you move people through that? Share with us all the fun deets.
Yeah, so I am on the call the whole time. And because it's really my VIP day is really it's a co-working process.
Yeah.
So it takes my expertise of the hiring process and their obvious expertise of their business coming together for those 4.5 hours to really create this beautiful process that then becomes a system that they get to use over and over in their business.
Yeah.
So the framework is ELITE, ELITE.
Love it.
And so it's envision the future of your organization. So we go through an org chart, we place your new hire in that place. And like you and I were speaking earlier about creating growth opportunities, that's a really nice way to visualize like, okay, if somebody comes in here, here's what could happen in the future. So we do that. Elite L is for no, I didn't say I was a spelling expert.
No, not at all. Me either.
L is for lighten your load. So that's where we talk about delegation and defining the role really and taking things off of your plate as the CEO. Then we have I for interact. And this is really the hiring process itself where you're starting to go back and forth with the candidates that are applying for the position. And so we set up all the assets for that so that everything feels like I know exactly what the next step to take is. And I give Voxer support to my clients. I'm like, hey, this is coming up tomorrow. Remember, go back to the playbook. This is here for you. And they're like, okay, I'm cool. Thank you. T is for train. So we talk about training and onboarding and how to set up a really great system so that once you've made that hire, they can come in and hit the ground running. Not going to be totally up to speed that first day, but we want to be able to give them everything that they need for success right away.
Totally.
So we prepare for that. And then the last E is embark. So at the end of the day, when we've done all of this, we post your job ad. It goes out. So you can
Wow.
come into the day like, I don't know what tasks I would give to somebody. And at the end of the day, we're actually starting the search for the person.
Oh my gosh. Love it. I'm here. Like that's what I'm all about. Like if everyone can just create VIP days like this, I would be super, super happy because that's what it's about. Like, when your clients come in chaotic and then they get that clarity and they can just like from that day on move through and just like get the result, right? So I love it. And who is it that you help? Is it their first hire? Is this their third, fourth? Is it their 10th? Who's like your best client?
Primarily, I have been working with people who have tried hiring before. So
Mhm.
they've been DIYers who have been like, I don't know what went wrong, but it
Yeah.
just doesn't work out every time I try to hire. So I'm coming to you for help now.
Yep.
So typically, it's people that have tried it before, very small teams, usually, I would say like 0 to 5 people.
Nice.
Probably not bigger than that right now. Not that it wouldn't work for larger. It's just hasn't been who I've served so far.
Yeah.
It would be really great for people who are doing their first hire because
Yeah.
then
And you can just
we just get to bypass all the all the bad hiring horror stories and just cut right to doing it amazingly the first time. So
yes, excellent. Yeah, I love that. I feel like everyone should just bypass, like, just don't. None of y'all are good at hiring, and I can even semi put myself in that category. I feel like I've done a pretty good job, and now Christy on my team has done an even better job. But it's not a lot of people's zone. Okay,
mhm,
so
mhm.
just go hire Jamie-Lynn. just don't even mess with it yourself. Like it's one of those things. I mean, I guess legal, you have to like, go with an attorney really. Like there are things I don't mess with and they are legal, tax, and HR. I do not
Mhm.
play. Like I take them very seriously. And so, it's because it's somebody's livelihood. And I think this is semi off topic, but also relevant. I feel as though in the online world, a lot of people are treating their team members like light bulbs. Like they're just like changing people in and out and like
Mhm.
that's all they're doing. And it makes me really sad because I think about my team members and even the ones that I've had to have really difficult conversations with. I still care about them like as humans. Like I still want to see them succeed. I still want to set them up for success for future job endeavors. And I'm curious on your, I guess, take on all of that, and the patterns that you're seeing, and why it's actually not serving people to think of their team as light bulbs, for lack of a better. I don't know
Mhm.
why that analogy was what it was, but here we are. We got to follow through. So, why is that not serving people to do that?
Yeah, well, it's not serving people to do that because then you have to, I mean, the hiring process itself is expensive in terms of time. And if you have turnover, that's expensive in terms of salary.
Amen.
So turnover is just the most expensive thing you can have happen in your business, probably. Like it can cost you four
Literally.
times someone's salary to have to replace them.
Yes.
So by treating people like the interchangeable light bulb, you're costing yourself money, but also then you have to take the time to like train somebody else into everything that your business is and does and your mission and get new buy-in
Yep.
where you could have these difficult conversations with people, help them grow as a person, as a leader, do some growth yourself as a leader,
Yep.
really to like care for these people, not like a family. I hate when people talk about work families. Like,
Yeah.
no, no, my mom's not going to fire me. Let's like, no, I'm
Right.
not, let's not.
Yeah. Awkward. Yeah. Awkward relationship.
but but we do what we need to have compassion and empathy for the people that support us and take care of them in the same way or even better than we take care of our clients.
Oh,
If you're
totally.
taking really good care of the people that work for you, they will take care of your clients.
Amen to that. Like it is, and your team is a reflection of you. And, I want to be known as somebody who takes care of themselves, is respectful, is caring, looks at you as a person first, like, and all those things. And so if I'm not reflecting that to my team, they're not going to reflect that to my clients and to other people. So it does start with leading by example and taking a good hard look at yourself. And maybe you said something that was taken the wrong way. And instead of being like, they took it the wrong way, you can say it as, I could have said it like this. Or just finding opportunities for growth. And I think that hiring does reflect to people sometimes areas that they aren't great at or aren't proud of or feel weak in. And so then therefore they avoid the tough work. And I don't think that you have to just be weak in all areas, especially when it comes to the importance of leadership. I think that if you plan to have big impact, leadership is a non-negotiable. Like you have to refine yourself as a leader. So so I love what you said about, yes, like, it is expensive from a money perspective, but also like to train somebody new, to make sure that that person is also respectful within the team. Because once you start having a team in place, then you're not only thinking about who's going to work well with me, you're going to have to think about who's going to work well with the team, right? And so that's even harder than trying to find someone that's going to work well for you, because you're having to take into account just different work styles, all that sort of stuff. So also, what are some things that in your hiring process for people, you help them to identify maybe elements of their culture or elements of their work style to then be able to find a value match? Like, for example, like I hate meetings. So like if you love meetings, you're actually going to hate being on my team because I'm going to reject every meeting you put on my calendar. That's not where
not coming.
Exactly, like all the time. Like, and Trina, my team is like very protective of my calendar, thank goodness. So, it's like those little things. How do you uncover some of those like in your VIP day to then be able to find a value match for people when it comes to their team?
I do a lot of this kind of digging in the pre-work questionnaire. So I've definitely had people who, before they work with me, they're like, I don't know if I can have a team because I think I'm just a difficult person to work with or work for because I do things unconventionally. And I'm like, okay, it's fine. You can do things unconventionally, like hate meetings. But let's pull that out in the pre-work before we actually get into the VIP day, so that then we can build systems around the way that you like to work. And it's okay to do that. It's okay to, if you hate being in meetings, but like meetings help make the team be able to flow better, pick one person on your team that you're going to meet with for half an hour every Monday morning and let them be the point person for your team. Like, so there are creative ways to be like, okay, like let's compromise on this just a little and make this happen in a way that actually does work for you and works with the leadership style that you want to embody. It's okay. You build a team around you. It's like you're the quarterback of your own football team, and a lot of those wow, a lot of the like organizations, they'll just be like, okay, we got to build our team around our quarterback, like who's going to protect him and who's going to work with him well as a receiver and stuff. So
that's so true.
It's kind of like that.
Yeah, I like that because it's I'm a very async person, so probably my Slack would be a nightmare to a lot of people, but it is my happy place because I'm just like boop 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 boop, like whenever you get to it. Because I think too with meetings, it's like, okay, we all got to gather around the campfire, find a time, and like even though I have employees and I can technically tell them when they need to be somewhere, I'm very respectful that again, everyone's, first of all, we're all Pacific to Eastern. So who knows, what time it is for somebody else, but then also like some are moms and they want to pick up their kiddos or they got other stuff going on. And so, it's, I just like the async life a lot better. That fits me to my team.
I have a tool to share with you that I just found over the weekend. It was directed to me at a Facebook ad, and I was like, "What is this?" It's called TeamFlow. It's teamflowhq.com. It's a little virtual office. I've been telling everybody about this week. It's a little virtual office and your camera and mic are on just like in Zoom. You have a little avatar that shows up at the front door when you log in. And you use the arrow keys on your keyboard to move around. You can go to your desk, or you can go to like the conference room, or you can put like portals to the CEO's office and go and go there.
That is
You
so
could
fun.
have you can do a free plan. I think you can have up to 5 team members for free and then invite 10 guests. So you could have clients come to your office for a meeting and go sit in a little one-on-one room, or like, I don't know, it's so cute. The cool thing about it is there's this audio area that goes around your avatar. And so when you walk around, only people who are inside your little bubble can hear you when you talk. So if somebody is standing on the other side of the office, just like as if you were in person, they can't
Oh
hear
my
you.
gosh.
So if you want to talk to somebody who's over at the water cooler, like, you got to go over there and be like, hey.
Oh my
I
God.
think it's so cute. But I
So
also, aside from being like the cutest thing I've ever seen, I really like the idea of the way that it can foster team collaboration, where you could just walk up to somebody and be like, hey, I'm working on this. Do you have a second? Can we go co-work? And you just
yeah.
go.
Oh my gosh, my team would love this. Like we've been trying to figure out better ways for remote work, right? Because again, you basically just see someone's Slack face all the time, generally, and whatnot. And we do have a water cooler in Slack, and we use that every once in a while and share different true crime, TV shows we're watching or whatever. But I like that there's an element of like we're working in the same office and like we're together, kind of, and whatnot.
Right.
I actually went to an event that had the Meta goggles, and it was super trippy. It was cool. It was a little bit disorienting because you're like I was like in Australia with all these people, and like we're in this room, and I'm like walking around and like shaking hands, but not really, and like, oh goodness, the world's about to get wild. This sounds a lot less intense than the goggle situation, which is also enjoyable.
I invited my mom to come to my office, and she was like, you have a pool? Let's go. And like just moved our avatars over to the pool. It was very cute.
That is so cute. Oh my gosh. My team's gonna be like, Jordan, we have a virtual conference happening. Like, why are you doing this? There's other things that you need to be focused on, but it's fine. So with that, also, how do you sell your virtual VIP days? Are they through referral partners? Are you doing podcasts? Share kind of, again, how you get in front of your ideal clients.
Yeah, so I did go on like a podcast application spree there for a minute, back in like, excuse me, like May or June. And then I just kind of took a break from it. I was like, well, I put all these applications out into the world. I know people aren't always recording, so it's fine. Actually had one of those people come back to me. I think I applied for that one back in like March, and I did the interview last Friday. So she just wasn't, she hadn't been recording, and then came back to me and was like, hey, do you want to be on season 4? And I was like,
yep.
Yes, I do. Yes, I would like to do that. So definitely, yeah, podcasting has been a thing. Referral networks. Yes, I developed a little referral program. It's super simple. It's literally like, fill out this form, tell me about your business so I can tell people about you. Give me your PayPal email. And then I send them a referral kit and a monthly newsletter. I tell people when they're going to sign up to be in my referral list that they won't be on my weekly newsletter. Like, I'm not going to be in your inbox all the time, but you will hear from me once a month, because I also host a monthly networking meetup. So I call it the connection circle. So it's a way for me to give back to my referral partners, get all of them in the same room. It hasn't been everybody at once ever. I think I have like 35 to 40 referral partners. The biggest networking event I ever had was 7 or 8 people. And so it's really small, it's intimate. They meet new faces every time they come, because different people will join. And it's just a really cool way for me to give back, because I will pop into their inbox and be like, hey, help me promote this thing, but also come join me and meet new people and talk about your business, what you're excited about. Just tell us like what's going on, how we can support you. And they love it. They really love it. So, and that makes them more willing to be like, I'm gonna tell everybody about what you're doing. And so most of my VIP clients have come through referrals, which has been really exciting.
Oh, that's super fun. Yeah, I love that you have a little give back piece of just like, how can I pour into you and give you value like every month, which is so nice
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
whatnot. So last question, how or better asked, what would be like your biggest tip, takeaway, lesson thing that you would give somebody who is thinking about trying VIP days? So again, is it mindset? Is it take action? Just would love to hear kind of your uh, give back, I guess you could say, to the community around, again, if they should give VIP days a try.
I mean, 100%, I say yes. And based on my story alone, my advice is to, yes, take action, like dive in and make these part of your offer suite, because what happened is I was able to lessen the number of retainer clients that I actually ditched all of my retainer clients when I started VIP days. And then
Yep.
I was like, oh, I could still have a retainer client, but like super part-time. And that's working really, really well. So I still
Awesome.
have a bunch of time in my week to work on my own business and to deliver
Great.
VIP days. And it's such a nice way to work with clients too.
Mhm.
So it's like, we're going to spend 4.5 hours together. If it works really great and I want to keep working with you and do something else, we have that option. If
Yep.
it's a little cringy 4.5 hours, then it was only 4.5 hours, and that's okay. You still got what you came for. Thank you. See ya. Have a nice time with that. Um, yeah, I would say take action. I mean, if it's something you've been considering, and the thing is that you were like me, where it's
Oh,
so hard to find information about what happens in a VIP day. Book one with somebody, or I mean, really just sign up for this program and build yours, because I was so confident going into my very first one. I've never had that with a brand new offer before. So that alone was worth the investment.
yeah. Oh, I appreciate that. So,
Yeah.
well, thank you for coming on. And how can the folks come and connect with you and get to know you, or be a referral partner, be a client, all the things?
Yeah. So I am JamieLynn Weeks across all the socials, but there's no hyphen. It's all together, on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. You can find me, or you can email me, JamieLynn at JamieLynnWeeks.com. That's of course also my website.
Yes.
Anywhere, I'm on all the things every day. So you pop in somewhere, you will hear from me.
Yeah, super awesome. Make it easy. I like when the branding is the same across the board. We're similar. So, well, thanks again for coming on, and hope that y'all really enjoyed a lot of the nuggets, not only about her VIP day, but also about her expertise around hiring, team leadership. Obviously, you can tell that she is a sharp, I was about to say a sharp cookie, but cookies aren't sharp. Sharp
They're not.
person. Anyhow, it's late in the day, so clearly I need to just go sit somewhere. But thank you so much for being on. And again, come back next week for our next VIP variety showcase. All right.
Thank you
Thanks.
so much for having me.